you guys hear me? Alright, so real quick what we're gonna do, does anybody have Instagram? Anybody have Instagram? What we're gonna do a quick 15-second video. Is that cool? Alright, so Instagram, what's going on? It's Thomas R. Williams here at Waite Middle School. Everybody has permission to dream. Go ahead and look at everybody who's gonna get inspired today. Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I know that you guys are excited to be here. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm right, because I'm always right. The guy with the microphone is always right? Alright, cool. So, let's go ahead and let's talk about the people who we're going to give thanks to. The first person and people that I want to give thanks to is I want to give thank you to all of you sitting down in front of me today. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Alright, hold on, time out, because I said, are we excited? You guys were really amped up and excited, and I said, give yourselves a round of applause, and you're like, yeah, I'm excited. Give yourselves a real round of applause. Yeah, I'm hyped up now. Okay, so, the next line of thank you, Principal Newcomb, where are you at? In the back. Everybody give your principal a round of applause and say thank you so much. Alright, next, Raina Flores, where are you? In the back. Please give her a round of applause. Next, you know the next. Has anybody ever heard of Goals for Life? Yeah. Anybody a member of Goals for Life? Alright, so there's two gentlemen right here, Mr. Spoon and Mr. Reggie Berry. Can you please stand up? Please stand up, give them a round of applause. Yeah, they got a program that's called Goals for Life, and I'm going to tell you about this thing they call Goals for Life, because in life we have these obstacles and we have these accomplishments that we want to have, but you got to have a goal for life. That's why they call it, what do they call it again? Goal for Life! Hold on, what do they call it again? Goal for Life! My bad. Y'all yelling like I did something wrong. Alright, so, are you guys ready to get into what we're talking about today? Yeah! Are you ready to do what we're doing right now? Yeah! Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I'll just throw all that stuff away. So, in 2007, I got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Has anybody ever heard of the Jacksonville Jaguars? So I played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then after I played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I had an opportunity to play for the New England Patriots. Has anybody heard of the New England Patriots? Alright. And after I played for the New England Patriots, I moved to a very small town called Charlotte. It's in the state of North Carolina. And what football team professionally is in the state? Hold on. Don't we have something in common? What's the mascot of the school? And I played for the Carolina who? Oh man, so I guess what you need to tell me is that everybody in this room has permission to dream. Yes. Can everybody say permission to dream? Okay, now let's get into it. So, I was thinking about how can I start this assembly, which everybody in this room is so responsible for creating, and I did. Last Friday, I was sitting on an airplane coming from Arizona, and I had a speaking engagement there, and I'm flying from Arizona all the way to LAX. And so I get on the plane, and I get real comfortable, and I'm sitting first class, right? Because you got to sit first class. However, I was on Southwest. Southwest doesn't have first class, but in my mind, I was sitting first class. So I'm sitting in my seat, and I'm at 13B. And the pilot gets on, and he says, welcome. What we're going to experience when we get into LA is a little bit of turbulence. And so I'm thinking to myself, a little bit of turbulence, well, how much is a little bit of turbulence? He said, what we're going to do is we're going to serve drinks for the first 15 minutes of the flight. We're going to have the flight attendants sit down after that because our safety is more important than our comfort. So about 15 minutes into the flight, the pilot comes on and says, all right, now if you're serving drinks, please sit down because it's going to be a bumpy rest of the flight. So all of a sudden, I got to start putting my music in because I like it when the plane starts shaking. I get a little bit nervous. Does anybody feel like that? When the plane or the ride starts shaking, you get a little bit nervous, right? So I'm sitting on the plane, and I'm in the middle of the seat like this, and all of a sudden we get a first bump, boom. Then we get another one, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, I thought I was Harlem shaking up there, right? I was doing like this. And now all of a sudden, the pilot goes, okay, we're getting ready to go in for our final landing. And I'm thinking, okay, well, hurry up, because I can't stand all this shaking like that, right? You feel me, right? Do you feel me? Yeah. Right? Hurry up, let's get this thing on the ground. Then all of a sudden, you start to feel the plane take off like this. And I'm thinking, well, the ground is that way. We need to go down, not up. Why are we going up when we're supposed to get down? So the pilot goes, well, what we're going to do is we're going to turn all the way back around. We're going to try it again. I said, forget turning around. Let's go back to Arizona. I'll bring the car. We can drive back. So after that, we circle back around. The pilot comes on again. We try it again. We go back up. We try it one more time. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, please just land this plane. Please, 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 please. I'm sorry for anything I did wrong. Just land the plane. Just get it on the ground. So finally, we go down underneath the clouds. And we finally touched down at LAX, and I thought it was so critical to share that story before I get ready to go into what we're talking about today, because life, and my life in particular, has been just like that ride. You see, you start in one place in life, and then all of a sudden you have these dreams, these goals to go to somewhere else. Does anybody else have dreams and goals to go from somewhere else to where you are today? That's what I like to hear. So we finally land. And just like the airplane, I finally landed in the NFL. But everybody thinks that just because I'm standing up here today like this is how it always was. So what can I share with you today at this moment to let you know that exactly the place that you're sitting is where I've been before in my life? So let's go all the way back down memory lane real quick, and then I'm going to give you guys some tools that you can apply today so that you can make that promise and that dream become a reality that you said that you have permission to dream. So the whole thing is that in first grade, I'm living with my mom because my parents are divorced, and then all of a sudden, I'm starting to get in fights because people are picking on me because I'm a minority, I'm biracial, my hair doesn't do the same thing everybody else's hair does, but they're picking on me, they're making fun of me, they're calling me names, and they're saying, why isn't your dad in your life? Why on Father's Day you don't have your dad here? When dads sit there and they come to show and tell, why doesn't your dad come? And every single time that would happen, I would get so emotional and so upset that I would want to fight. And just like you're looking at now, for my whole life I've been bigger than a lot of people who I've been next to, so it was easy to roughhouse with me. So then we fast forward to the end of my first grade year, and I told my mom, I want to go live with my dad. I don't want to live here anymore. She said, why? And I said, because my dad's going to let me do what I want to do. He's not going to sit there and put me on punishment when somebody puts their hand on me, because I'm going to put my hands back on them. And I'm going to hit you. And I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to keep hitting you, and I'm going to keep hitting you. And she said, fine, you know what, you want to go live with your dad, go live with your dad. The first day I show up to North Carolina, I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina with my dad. And he said, look, son, this is what you're going to do. You're going to clean, you're going to cook for yourself, you're going to have a key to the house. And when I get home every single day, you've been home for about 3 hours, what I need you to do is I need you to have this house look in a certain kind of way. I said, Dad, that's great. I came here to learn how to be a man, right? I'm in second grade. I want to learn how to be a man. So the first thing my dad taught me how to be a man is he taught me how to shoot dice. He taught me how to play craps. Anybody ever heard the phrase snake eyes, boxcars, and double sixes? I knew that in second grade. Then all of a sudden, the next night after I learned how to gamble, and he was showing me how to gamble, I learned how to drive a car. Second grade. Because what I failed to tell you is that the reason why I had to drive the car is because my dad had drinking so much that he wasn't able to get behind the wheel of the car that night. So at the end of that year, I sat there and said, okay, my father showed me one thing. He showed me how not to be. So I moved back to third grade, and I go back to my house, and I say, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm done doing everything else. I'm ready to learn, and I'm ready to be who you created. She says, great. But then the next day, I get suspended again. I get in a fight, I get into an argument. I go on the way to fourth grade, and I'll never forget it, that we had fourth grade camp, and it was up at Camp Paloma, and we only had 3 strikes, 1, 2, 3 opportunities until you got sent home. Has anybody ever gone to camp before with your school, your friends? Anybody gone camping before, period? Oh, you don't know what you're missing out on. Make sure you write on your list of goals, go camping. This is the thing about Camp Paloma. I went the first day, I got a strike. I got my first strike. You know why I got my strike? I got my strike because I was talking when the person who was telling us not to talk. That's one. But I got 2 more, right? I could be here for a whole week. I could easily make it through this whole week without these 2 strikes. So the next time I get a strike, we're playing basketball, right? I'm Kobe up there, right? I'm Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba. It was before the Black Mamba. Anybody Black Mamba fans? Well, if you're not Black Mamba fans, what kind of fans are you? Curry? Steph Curry? Okay, I was Steph Curry, okay? I was back there doing the thing. So listen. This is why I got my second strike, because I was playing basketball and somebody didn't want to pass me the ball, and I went and I took it. Because if you're not going to give me something, I'm going to take it. So that was strike 2. And the third one, here's the thing that I didn't understand at that moment. What we do right now follows us. We have a reputation. So since I got the 2 strikes before, now all of a sudden I have a reputation that I'm going to get my 3rd strike. And it's so funny because there were 3 teachers that sat there right when we showed up, and she said, I bet you, one of the teachers said, I bet you don't make it through the whole week. I bet you you're going to get kicked out and sent home. Has anybody ever had somebody down before? Has anybody ever said something? Had somebody say something to you, and somebody said, well, I bet you can't touch the net. I bet you can't make this shot. I bet you can't do this. So think about it. Think about it. You can put your hands down. Thank you so much. So think about it. Think about it. I got my 3rd strike the next time because somebody said I cut in line. And I didn't even cut in line to get food. But because of what I did those first 2 times, now all of a sudden I'm guilty. So 4th grade, skid sent home. 5th grade, finally move on. Still getting in trouble. If you're in the 6th grade, raise your hand. Hold them up there. Okay, gentlemen, put your hands down. This is when it gets real. Right now, what I'm getting ready to tell you applies directly to you. 7th and 8th graders, I'll get to you in a second. Don't worry about it. So in 6th grade, I thought I was a bad man. I thought I was tough, because I'm a big man on campus. Because in my school, we went kindergarten through 6th grade. So I thought I was a big man on campus. So what happens, I'm a bully, I'm going to pick on you. And then all of a sudden, we got this guy who's no longer around. He's called Tupac. Anybody ever heard of Tupac? So Tupac had a slogan and a saying called Thug Life, right? Tatted on his stomach. So I thought I was Thug Life. Tupac's doing it. He's got music videos, he's got cars, he's got money, so I walked around doing like this. Now all of a sudden my mom goes to my parent-teacher conference. Is parent-teacher conferences, have they happened yet? Yeah, they happen. So 6th grade, my mom goes to the parent-teacher conference, and the teacher says, look, man, by the time your son's 16 years old, which is in 4 years, he's going to either end up shot, stabbed, he will be a leader of the gang, no question in my mind he'll be a drug dealer, and he's probably going to end up dead. 6th graders, raise your hand. I was you. So my mom comes home and she looks at me and she says, Thomas, I thought I told you every single time that you leave, you represent me. You represent us. You represent our family. Why do you keep making life so difficult for me? Why do you keep making life so hard? I'm doing everything that I possibly can. So what I said is, Mom, everybody at school, they're making fun of you. I got to stick up for you. She said, Thomas, you don't understand. Those people who are saying stuff about me, that's not true, and you should know that. And since you know that, you don't need to stick up for me, because you don't ever have to defend a lie. If right now, if I made fun of you and it wasn't something that was true, it would be a lie. So why do you have to stick up for a lie? So I tell my mom, I say, look, here's the deal. I see that you're crying right now, but what I'm going to do is I promise you, I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know how. But one day, Mom, I'm going to make you proud. And so now the question answers is, how do you change and how do you transform from that mentality and being a bully and picking on people and fighting on people and always making fun of somebody to go into the NFL? So when I was 7 years old, I went to a baseball game and I said, Mom, I want to do that. Those people who were playing on the field, I don't want to do that. Is there any athletes in this room? Anybody who plays basketball, anybody who plays football, anybody who plays baseball? So you know who I'm talking to. When I was younger, I said, Mom, I want to play sport. She said, okay, this is how you got to go. This is what you have to do. So fast forward back to 7th grade. I'm throwing up gang signs, right? 7th graders, raise your hand. Now I'm talking to you, sixth graders. Still pay attention because they are who you will be. I'll repeat that. They are who you will be. So in 7th grade, right before going into 7th grade, I'm thinking, I'm going to be 13 years old, life is great, mom can't say anything, teachers can't say anything, we're going to switch classes, we got different periods, different social things, no more recess, we got PE, it's going to be crap. All of a sudden my phone rings one day. I hear hello. I'm like, hello? I said, yeah. What's up, Thomas? He said his name. I knew his name. Everybody in my town knew his name. Because he was really about that life. He was about that gang life that I used to play around with. And there's stories about this individual who was in the 5th grade who used to go up to the local high school and used to beat up seniors. And now all of a sudden, because I thought it was cool to walk around doing like this, now all of a sudden I'm getting ready to see him. He said, we're going to find out. And I don't see you on the first day, we're going to find out on the second day exactly how tough you are. He said, this is my hood. Okay? So, what I do? First day of school comes around, right when that bell rings, just like you heard now, I ran home as fast as I can. Second day, ran home as fast as I can. Third day, all the way until about a month throughout the first semester of school. I was in 6th period and I raised my hand. I told the teacher I had to go to the bathroom. I said, I got to go to the bathroom. She said, okay, you can go. So I walk outside. Lockers are like this. In the hallway seemed just as small as these aisles right here. Right here. And I close the door and I start walking. And all of a sudden, here he turns down the hall. He was by himself and so was I. So, the first reaction was, all right, I turn around, I gotta go back to class. But if I go back to class, I can't go to the bathroom again. Because the teacher just said, no, you just went to the bathroom. You can't go back to the bathroom. So I keep walking. And I walk, and I continue to walk until all of a sudden we're close. And I said, this is the only thing I can do. Because as a man, you understand what it means to apologize. And I'm not talking about the only time you step on somebody's shoe. I'm talking about if you disrespected another man or if you did something to hurt their feelings. I stuck out my hand and I said, hey, I just want to apologize. I'm sorry. I said, to be honest with you, I'm not about this gang life. I don't have a gun. I don't have knives. I don't have a posse. I don't have a crew. I don't have nobody. It's me. I'm the only child. So if I offended you by coming onto your turf, trying to pretend to be something I'm not, I'm sorry. He said, man, you know what? I've been looking for you. But since I saw you today like this and you apologized and you stuck out your hand, I'm not going to mess with you. I'm going to start you out. I said, whoa, okay. So, now all of a sudden life's great, right? But we talked about it on the plane ride. There's this thing called turbulence, right? You got your seatbelt buckled up, and then all of a sudden you start moving around, shaking. Everybody do a little something like this. Let me see what turbulence look like. No, I said everybody do. Let me see what turbulence look like. Hey, y'all too cool to be turbulence? Hey, there you go. I see you with the turbulence player. All right, so we're right back on turbulence. Here's why we landed the plane. When we landed the plane on Friday, I asked the pilot when we walked to the front, I said, how were you so confident that we could land the plane? He said, it's very simple. You see this thing right here in the cockpit. And then you see these things on my head. I'm in constant communication with air traffic control. Now, where's air traffic control? Is it in the sky? It's in the sky? Air traffic control is in the sky? Is that big tower? Who said on the ground? It's on the ground, right? So the whole thing why I'm saying this is because it's extremely important to understand something. 6th graders, shh. Understand something. Your air traffic control is in 7th grade. 7th graders, raise your hand. 7th graders, put your hands down, please. Thank you. 7th graders, your air traffic control is 8th graders. Put your hands in the air. Your air traffic control is exactly where you want to end up. So he said, the only thing we did is we called them, we said, is it safe to land down? He said, yeah. And they navigated us and guided us through so that we could land safely through the clouds. So in 8th grade for me, this is what's so important, is that just because you have a goals for life, doesn't mean that a goals for life is going to come to fruition without what? What do you have to do in order for a goal or an accomplishment to be achieved? Hard work, try hard, discipline. Never give up. Now understand, I have a friend named Todd. Todd was in 8th grade, and I always used to clown Todd because Todd used to go home after school, and Todd would never come out until about 5:30. And I would always say to Todd, why don't you ever come out and hang out before 5 or 5:30? He said, oh, I don't leave my house until I finish my homework. I do my homework first, and then I can go out and play and hang out. I'm like, but Todd, what are you getting in school? Why are you successful in school and I'm not? He said, well, do you see every time that you come over to my house on my refrigerator, there's an A on the test? That's not the same test. That's a new test that I've taken week in and week out. And I said, well, have you ever come to my house and seen the test on the refrigerator? He's like, no. Because I didn't get A's. I didn't understand what my air traffic control looked like. I didn't understand that I was in the 6th grade, I should be watching a 7th grader, and I was in the 7th grade, and I should be watching an 8th grader. I had no clue about that. So understand that in order to get somewhere, you have to look for somebody who's already there. Just like when I played in the NFL. Anybody ever heard of a guy named Reggie Bush? So, Reggie Bush, the whole thing about Reggie Bush is Reggie Bush was my roommate in college. So we came in at 18 years old. And all of a sudden I redshirt, which means I don't get a chance and an opportunity to play. And Reggie keeps playing. He's scoring 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards. And I'm not playing. And Reggie goes number 2 overall to the New Orleans Saints. And I went 155th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a distinct difference between the people who have goals and have no motivation, have no work ethic, and aren't able to put it together. He's making millions of dollars, all because of what he did before leading up to that point. So I'm in 8th grade and I say, look, Mom, I know I want to change my life and I know I want to do really, really well. I want to play sports and I want to make you happy. But I don't know how to do it. So understand, the next thing that I'm telling you right now is that you understand this. A routine, a team, and a community are extremely important for you. Because the highest grade point average I ever got in leading up to 9th grade was a 2.3. Is a 2.3 a good grade point average? It's terrible. It's terrible. I saw you back there. You worded terrible. I got you. Yeah, it was terrible. So I go to high school in the 9th grade. 8th graders, understand this. 9th grade's right around the corner. So I go to 9th grade, and my coach calls me and says, look, do you want to play football? I said, no, coach, I'm a baseball player. I made this promise to my mom, and I said, look, I'm going to be a Major League Baseball player. He said, that's great, but what I need you to do, he said, I need you to have something to do in the fall. So you need to play football. I said, fine, coach, I'll play football. So I went out to football practice, and I've never done it before. I stepped outside my comfort zone. I've never played it before because the only thing I wanted to do was be a Major League Baseball player. So when I stepped onto the football field, everything's moving like this, all crazy, and I have no clue what to do. He said, just keep working. Just keep working. Keep showing up and keep working. So I said, well, that's a really cool life tool. Why don't I do that in all aspects of my life? Why don't I just show up and just keep working? I told you, what did I say my grade point average in 8th grade was? 2.3. So I showed up in every avenue and area of my life, and I just kept working. I just kept working in football, at home, with my chores, and in school. I'd show up early, tell the teacher, look, I don't know how to do this math problem. Can you please show me? After school, I only have about 15 minutes before the school ends and football practice starts. So I go to my teachers again, and I'd say, look, last night at home, I had no clue what to do on this homework assignment, so I need you to show me right now so that when I get home, I don't have the same problems. Because the only thing I have to do is I have to show up, and I have to do what? I gotta keep working. Everybody repeat after me. Show up. Show up. Keep working. Keep working. Nice. So I show up and keep working. Show up and keep working. Show up and keep working. And one day the doorbell rang. And got a piece of paper that had 6 letters on it because we had 6 classes. And the 2.3 is probably 2 B's and the rest C's. And my mom called me into the kitchen and she had tears coming down her face. And I made good on that promise. I said, Mom, we're going to have tears of joy one day. She looked at me and she said, Thomas, this is your new normal. You've raised the bar. And I said, Mom, what's the grade point average? She said, it's a 3.5. She said, how did you do it? And I said, Mom, the only thing I did is I showed up and I kept working. And so just to let you know, a 3.5 is 3 A's and 3 B's. And you can't go from a 2 point something to a 3 point something. And not only that, I took that for the rest of my life inside of high school. And I showed up and I kept working. And what did he get me? What did he get me? It's a great answer. Well, I'm here today to tell you that I'm 31 years old. My 6th grade teacher, who told me that I would be dead eventually by the time I was 16, was wrong. I'm the first person in my immediate family to go to college and graduate off a full athletic scholarship. Not one dime did I have to pay to graduate. I played in the NFL for 5 years, for 3 teams, never won a Super Bowl. And after I did all of that, I showed up and kept working. I surrounded myself like Reggie and Spoon. And they kept showing me the way of this life. And I wrote one book titled Permission to Dream. And I'm working on my 2nd book right now. And the reason why I came here to share this with you guys today is because, again, every single person sitting down in this auditorium today, I'm what you can be. Not I playing football, but going from wherever you are in life, wherever your community is, whatever your circumstances are. Every single one of you has permission to dream. And I see a couple of parents in here. And let me share this with you because I know I got about 3 minutes. 2 simple keys that my mom did for me and why she's my biggest motivation in my entire life. Here's what it is. My mom cleaned houses from the time I was in kindergarten to the time I was in 6th grade. And when I turned 13 years old, she decided to go back to school and she decided to further her education. And you know when we used to do homework? Together. We did it together. After dinner, she would do the dishes and we'd sit down. She'd do her homework right next to me. So here's the thing. How do you do it? The best way to ever teach somebody is to show them. That's what they do. Every single time we get together, they show me. The next thing, my mom sat there, and when she told me on the day that I graduated high school, she said, son, we did it. That was the driving motivation factor. You are the example that your child can and will be everything that they want to be. So guys, I know that we're running out of time. A gift from me to the school and from your school to you is a book, Permission to Dream. Understand, take it home, read it with your family. Look at it. Understand that everybody has permission to dream. And if you don't have a dream, if there's something that you don't know that you want to do, go home and write it down. Because it comes true. And eventually, when your plane takes off, it might be a little turbulent right now. But understand that when it lands, you will end up exactly where you've worked. And you get exactly what you earned. So it will come down and it will land. Thank you guys so much for all of your time. I think there's a couple of questions that we have. You don't have questions. We're going to go outside. I'm so sorry I didn't mean to say the questions in the book. If you guys have social media, write me. I'll answer your questions. Anybody have social media? Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff?